Hello and welcome to Poetry Corner. This morning, the 14th century, and what a lovely time it was. And there was no one more lovely than Geoffrey Chaucer. Of course, Chaucer's most famous work was the Canterbury Tales, so let us begin in the beginning with the prologue to the Canterbury Tales. One April with his showers sweet, the drought of March had pierced to the root, and bathed in every vein which colour, of which virtue engendered is the flower. Unfortunately, the rest of the 14th century was full of toil and oppression and a bit shit. So moving on to the 15th century, and as some would have it, the Golden Age, in particular John Lydgate. Righteousness chastised all robbers by eagle balance of exclusion, fraud, false meed, put backward fraudulers, true promise hold, made no delation. Unfortunately, they still weren't speaking proper English though. Moving swiftly on to the 16th century now, we have a poem here by Anonymous, who has of course written many great works over the centuries. This particular one is entitled The Bailiff's Daughter of Islington, which is where we are. There was a youth, and a well-beloved youth, and he was a squire's son. He loved the bailiff's daughter dear, that lived in Islington. The 17th century was when things really started kicking off for the British Empire, full of wars and battles and all things glorious. But some people still chose to sit around and write fairly soppy poetry, like Robert Herrick in To Phyllis. Live, live with me, and thou shalt see the pleasures I'll prepare for thee. What sweets the country can afford shall bless thy bed and bless thy board. In the 18th century, there was a man called William Cowper, and he wrote Epitaph on a Hare, an extract, to wit: Old Tiny, surliest of his kind, who nursed with tender care, and to domestic bounds confined was still a wild jack hare. Of course, after the 18th century, all literature was unfortunately cancelled, so that's all we've got time for. Oh no, wait!